Oh yeah, do you guys see this shit? Iceland volcano. Emergency declared over volcano Fagradalsfjall. Great country. Thank you. Eruption concerns. Apparently, there were like a billion earthquakes per second going on in the area, so they were like, "There's probably going to be a volcano eruption." You guys ready to undo climate change with a nice volcanic blanket of ash over the atmosphere? Iceland has declared a state of emergency. Authorities have ordered thousands of people living in the southwestern town of Grindavik to leave as a precaution. Considerable risk of an eruption. An eruption could start any time in the next few days, according to the statement. Nice, nice. Thor Thordarson, least Icelandic-sounding name, professor of volcanology at the University of Iceland, said a 15-kilometer-long river of magma running under the peninsula was still active. That's why we're talking about an imminent eruption. Unfortunately, the most likely eruption site appears to be within the boundary of the town of Grindavik. Been concerned, remained dormant volcanic activity for 800 years before a 2021 eruption. Vosh, why do people build shit near active volcanoes? Because what? Like you're some kind of pussy? Like you're like a 12th century farmer and you're going to go like, I know what volcanology is. And also I'm not going to build my village because in 1,000 years there might be a volcano here. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, that's also true. Volcanic soil is very fertile. More than 20,000 tremors have been recorded in southwest Iceland since late October. God damn. Cracks from the volcanic activity have damaged roads in Grindavik. Can you imagine living in an area where you get like giant cracks into the earth and it's like, oh yeah, man, that's just the river of lava or magma, I guess, running under the crust, you know? Don't worry about it. Don't fall in though. The site was dormant for 8 centuries until eruptions in 2021, 2022, and 2023. All right, so they're having a bit of a goof, having a bit of a goofy goober moment at the moment. Yeah, it was a good 800-year run. Iceland volcano.
Well, scientists say seismic activity has decreased in southwest Iceland, where hundreds of people have had to leave their homes over fears over a volcanic eruption. More than 1,000 earthquakes have hit the area since midnight, but they've mostly been weaker than those over the last couple of days. But experts do stress a 15-kilometre-long river of magma running under the peninsula is still active and poses a threat to nearby towns. Earlier on, I spoke to volcano expert Dr. Evgenia Ilinskaya. She told me more about the significance of these moments.
I guess it's both unusual and not unusual. We know that this part of Iceland is very volcanically and seismically active, and we know that every 1,000 years or so we get a long period of eruptions in this particular area, and pretty much right on time. The last eruptions have finished about 800 years ago, and now we're just starting a new eruptive episode of fires,
Cool.
as they're called locally.
So officials are evacuating people. Talk us through how dangerous this is.
People were evacuated around midnight on Friday night when there were geophysical.
Hold on, wait. Somebody suggested I look at video footage from 2021's eruption. Go. No copyrighted music. Hell yes, dude. Absolutely. You know, you live in Iceland. How much is there to do, really? You've got the Aurora Borealis, and how many people live in your country? 5? 10? Let's go. Hell yes. Wow, I would not want to be there. Seriously, I really don't understand being there. But okay. If it's just going to be music, I'll mute it. Like, it's hard to tell how far away this is because of, you know, perspective. That's the entire population of Iceland right there. Yeah, it might be. Volcanoes are literally like the most horrifying natural disaster scenario. Yeah, because like the big volcanoes are world changing, like Krakatoa or whatever. They cool the planet for a couple years. Throughout the Middle Ages, there were like mini ice ages when every once in a while there'd be a gigantic volcanic eruption. It would just lower the temperature. And the last time that happened was in the 1800s, like the last big time that happened, right? So I guess we'll have it happen again eventually. How does that work? A volcano erupts and ejects like 1 billion cubic meters of shit in the atmosphere, and it forms a big cloud that covers the Earth and reflects more light. God damn. For what it's worth, I know people talk about it a lot, but my understanding is that experts are really not that worried about Yellowstone. Yellowstone has the potential to be a cataclysmic eruption, but if it was ever a threat like that, we would know about it for years beforehand. Like, there's a ton of seismological research done around Yellowstone. If ever pressure started building in the crust, we would know about it. Like, dude, how close are they? I can't really tell how close they are because it really looks like they're within a few dozen feet of getting splattered with 5,000 degree lava. Okay. Whatever, man. Yeah, it could be the zoom. Ah, that's so pretty. That's so tasty looking. That's delicious. This is what good food looks like. This is what good eating looks like. Hell yes. Aren't there toxic fumes? Yes. It looks like that bitch from Hell of a Boss. The cotton candy. Dumbass tourists get way too close to the volcanoes, Vosh. It's a problem, unfortunately. That's, this is a skill issue. I would simply not get within 5 feet of the 10 billion degree rock. Basil bub? Okay. God, that looks so tasty. The next big catastrophe might be in Seattle. A deadly earthquake will positively, absolutely ravage Seattle at some point. Here's how to survive it. I'll be fine, don't worry. I've got 5 cans of beans stacked up in the basement. We're good. God damn, look at that. They'll fall over. I was ready for the earthquake, but I wasn't ready for my 5-can tall tower of canned beans to fall over. God damn. Well, I think this is pretty cool. And this is the fissure that just emerged. Sure wouldn't want to fall in there. I see. You have guns. What the fuck is an earthquake gonna do? True! Did you know that if there's a high amount of sulfur in the ground, the lava is blue? Is this real? I guess because the flames at the top are burning blue. I guess that makes sense. That's pretty dope. Pretty magical. It looks like they're pretty far away, like 2 kilometers per the Visit Iceland website. Okay, so it's just the camera's zoom that's giving the impression that they're very close to what's happening. That makes sense. I mean, obviously they are pretty close right here. You can't really fake that, but that's when it's cooling already. What is this? About this is the town right now? What? This is from the magma racing underneath the town. It's like a monster in a thriller. Jesus Christ. It makes sense because when you look at lava flowing, I think that naturally when you imagine something flowing, you basically imagine it flowing like water, because 99.999% of the time when we observe or experience anything flowing, it's water. But then you remember that magma has to be like 50 trillion times as impactful when it slams into shit underground, right? Ooh, you hate the pauses, don't you? Well, why does it take white people so long to recognize danger? Well, if they're miles away, I mean, I don't know. Also, that's just how tourists are. Also, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that you could find plenty of videos of, like, I don't know, native people around the world, or like non-white people that are near volcanic flow and being cool about it. God damn. Huh. Look, what matters is that the people in Iceland are having a good time. You know, stuff like this happens. We're never going to fully master our environment. There's always going to be the threat of, you know, natural disaster. As long as we get a good warning. Baking bread with lava in Iceland. So you're really gonna complain? Hell yes, dude. Surface temperature 208 degrees. Nice. Yeah, they bury it under the like semi-cooled sort like volcanic ash and then bring it back up. Probably not the most efficient energy transfer, but dudes do rock, yeah. They do use thermal energy in Iceland, though. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that thermal energy isn't more viable all around the world, because it seems like it's kind of the magic bullet, right? It's because, like, wind only works in places where there's wind, and wind turbines are really big. Solar, likewise. But with geothermal energy, most of that development is underground, and like space-wise, on the surface, it's really space efficient, you know? And it's essentially infinite. I mean, I guess the planet will cool in like 50 billion years, but you know, that's not my problem. Geothermal can be used practically anywhere. Yeah, but in some places you have to dig way too far down. Also, I think the way the plate shifts can make it unviable, like it would get destroyed after a while. I don't really know. Depends, but they boil water for electricity. Well, that's how we make all electricity.